Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing UFC 313 and everything that happened on it. We're going to start off with the first fight on the card, which was Djorden Santos versus Ozzy Diaz. So I picked Djorden Santos and honestly, he looked like he was winning. I will say it was a bit of a sloppy situation, especially as the fight progressed. Both of these guys just slowed down. The striking wasn't very clean. But overall, it did look to me like Djorden Santos was winning, and I'm pretty sure he was also winning on the scorecards. So I'm not sure why they gave it to Ozzy Diaz. A little strange, but what can I do? I don't know. First fight on the card, whatever. We move on to the next one. Mairon Santos versus Francis Marshall. I actually picked Mairon Santos to win, and Francis Marshall was actually doing a little better. I would say he was like one step ahead the entire time. Immediately, Mairon Santos was kind of put on the back foot. Like anytime he tried to initiate, he kind of got countered. So I think he was like extremely frustrated the whole time. Maybe he did well in one round, but I felt like at least two of the rounds, Francis Marshall won. I don't know, it was very strange. You would think that the guy with better response time, who seems to be landing more shots, would be the guy that won, but this was a next level kind of robbery that I don't understand. If someone does, please fill me in. This seemed completely backwards. Like it seemed like they gave the first fight to the wrong Santos and the second fight to the right. Hold on. Yeah. They switched up the Santoses is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, weird situation. I really feel like Francis Marshall should have won that one, but I guess it was a split decision, and I don't know. Guys, now let's move on to the next one. Those are the early prelims. Then we had Alex Morono versus Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal! Still on the sauce. Still got zits growing on his body. This time on his chest. Anyhow, Alex Morono, man. This is why, like, anytime there's a fighter in the UFC, unless it's Angela Hill, okay? Because Angela Hill is, like, cool. Like, an artist who, wanted to start fighting MMA to be in better shape. Okay, actually wins, though, but not really. Like, if you look at her record, it's not the greatest. Then you have Alex Morono, who has no fighting instinct within him, and the extent of his abilities come down to sparring, okay? So that's kind of what he was doing here, but that doesn't work against jacked up Carlos Leal, who's going in there to kill you. So it started off badly for Alex Morono. He was already getting haunted and outpaced, and then pushed into the corner, basically, where Carlos Leal just kept hitting him from every which direction, and got Alex Morono was fading already, like on the fence. You could see him kind of like not knowing where he was, and eventually the ref stopped it because they figured like, okay, enough of abusing this dude who isn't really a fighter. So anyways, Carlos Leal got the standing KO. Pretty dope, pretty expected too. So I think Alex Morono should retire. Let me know what you guys think. I think this was pretty embarrassing for him. So okay, let's move on, guys, to the next one. Brunno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. Brunno Ferreira is known for his KO power and his ability to kind of push forward, explode forward when he needs to, and so he was kind of finding a little bit of success with this in the first round. Armen was like slowly and steadily collecting his points, while Brunno kind of occasionally went in with these forward lunges and the 1-2s. But yeah, somewhere like in round 2, I can't remember if it was Armen that took him down or how they ended up in that position. I was a little bit distracted, but I remember Brunno Ferreira was on his back. I'm guessing Armen thought, like, from what I'm remembering, I thought, like, okay, maybe I could do something. Brunno Ferreira managed to very expertly grab a hold of his arm and get an armbar submission, just like that. Like it was so slick. And yeah, pretty solid. I thought this was gonna be a KO, but hey, Brunno took advantage of that ground of the ground ability of his. So yeah, good for him. Solid win, I would say. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Guys, let's move on to the next one. Joshua Van versus Rei Tsuruya. Guys, you know I picked Rei Tsuruya. I really thought that he would be able to take Joshua Van down to the ground. I know Joshua Van has good takedown defense, but I really thought that like with Tsuruya's creativity, he would be able to find a way to do it. But and he did a few times. Like I remember he flipped Joshua Van over like what was it? Yeah, it was a bit unexpected. Like he had like 2 good moments where he was able to get Joshua Van down to the ground, but he couldn't keep him there. And eventually he just tired out doing this, wasting all of his energy on these takedowns that he couldn't control. And Joshua Van wasn't tired at all and just continued, doing his thing on the feet. Obviously outboxing Rei Tsuruya. And yeah, I actually thought that they would score more of this control time for Rei Tsuruya, but yeah, it was a pretty clear win for Joshua Van, guys. Especially just seeing the complete lack of damage that Tsuruya was doing for Joshua Van. So yeah, Joshua Van won. The gangster won against the artist, guys. Let's move on. The Curtis Blades fight was canceled. The next fight, we're on the main card already. So the next fight was King Green and Mauricio Ruffy. Yo, Bobby Green. I can't tell if he's just like completely faded because he's so old now, or or if Mauricio Ruffy is just that good, or if it's just a combination of both things that are amplifying the effect of what we witness. But yeah, King Bobby Green looked so slow and old in there today. I've never seen him look like that. To be fair, yeah. The thing is, him and his cocky attitude and his age, and like 2 minutes in, Bobby Green is against the cage. Mauricio like pretends to hit him with, I think it was like a left hook or something, but doesn't really go for it. Bobby Green's like not even paying attention to what's happening below because there's a fucking wheel kick coming that gets him. It was like Mauricio Ruffy's heel that got him like right in the temple. He falls instantly to the ground. Pretty epic KO. It was so clean. Like, it was so clean. I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed by like all the fighters from the Fighting Nerds because they all kind of possess a similar direction of like clean striking and like accuracy, which I think is one of the most like underrated things in the UFC. People don't always focus on that. I think people sometimes assume that power and grit is more important than technique, which is not always the case. And this is a perfect example, like super epic KO. Good job, Mauricio Ruffy. You impressed everyone today. So let's move on, guys, to the next one. Possibly the most boring fight on the card, but it is what it is. Amanda Lemos and Iasmin Lucindo. So guys, as I said, this is the one fight that I predicted really well. And I initially had Amanda Lemos as like one of my top picks. So Iasmin Lucindo was too young. We saw this completely today. Amanda Lemos looked so much stronger on the feet. Like, first round started off with her literally just hunting Iasmin Lucindo, and like towards, I'm not sure if this happened in the first round, but towards the end of literally every single round, maybe not the first one, it ended with Amanda Lemos on top of Iasmin Lucindo. Like, when Amanda Lemos was on top, there was nothing Iasmin Lucindo could do. And yeah, it was just pretty sad, like, especially after each round. Lucindo would go to her corner and they'd be like, you faced worse than this, like, you got this, like, don't give up, like, come on, you're better than her. And like, I don't know about that. I think she's just 23 and wasn't expecting to face her like older sister in the cage right now. But yeah, Amanda Lemos, obviously the more experienced veteran, took the fight. Made Iasmin Lucindo look kind of like an amateur, but it is what it is. I'm not taking anything away from Iasmin Lucindo. Like, I do really think it's just that she's too young. She was too young for this matchup. So, okay, guys, let's move on to the next. Jalin Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I picked Ignacio Bahamondes, guys, because we've seen Jalin Turner make avoidable mistakes before, like not really truly having his mind in the game. And that's kind of what we saw. The fight began, they started feeling each other out, kind of. Turner landed some shots, Ignacio countered them, I think, a little better. Also, he just looked like he was more present, honestly. And then it seemed like just like spur of the moment sort of thing. Jalin Turner decides to take Ignacio Bahamondes down, but it didn't look very like planned. It just seemed like something he thought he should do in the moment. I don't know why. It kind of gave Bobby Green, Patty Pimblett vibes, but more passive, I guess I would say. And yeah, I guess maybe he thought he could do something with that position. I don't know why he thought he should ever grapple with Ignacio Bahamondes, but it was like after that point on, Ignacio Bahamondes was at the bottom, and it took him like a minute and a half of like scrambling to then put Jalin Turner in a triangle choke. And yeah, that was like two and a half minutes into the first round, which is so crazy. Like, in hindsight, it all seems so clear. Like this fight, the Lemos fight, actually every fight on the main card. But anyhow, so far on the main card, I got all the fights correctly. Anyhow, guys, let's move on. Yes, like I think Jalin Turner should retire. I just don't think he cares anymore. Like I think he's just kind of winging it in there, not like he obviously could want it more, and you could tell that that's just not the case for him. Anyhow, let's move on to the next fight, guys. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. I picked Rafael Fiziev to win. I didn't realize like how after this fight, I realized how short of a notice Rafael Fiziev had. Like, it all became so clear. Like, I could feel how much he was prepared, like, how much he actually prepared for this fight. It wasn't a lot, okay? Because he had a pretty good first round. He won that round, I would say. And I think was, like, the extent of his cardio. And you could tell that wasn't also, like, he wasn't performing at his fullest. Like, you could tell he knew he needed to stretch out his gas tank for 3 rounds because right from the get-go he didn't have the same energy that he had in his previous fights. And also, like, I mean, it possibly could be from his knee injury, but I do think he was trying to kind of pace himself a little more. And the craziest thing too is like the minute it's one of those ones where he slowed down and his opponent won because that allowed him to kind of inch forward a little bit. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from Justin Gaethje. I do think this was an epic fight. Both men were in a constant back and forth. You know, it wasn't a dull fight by any means. And in the first round, like Fiziev did some crazy shit, and like they both tumbled together, and they ended up in a position where Fiziev's ass was literally just on Justin Gaethje's face. Yeah, but the thing is, like, imagine Rafael Fiziev if he was actually prepared and had maybe more than a week's notice. The reason I picked him is because I figured that he had been training regularly, waiting for a fight because it's been so long since his injury, but it didn't feel like that was the case. You could kind of tell. And if the second 2 rounds went the way the first one did, I definitely think he would have gotten the win, and that's what I was kind of banking on. But yeah, Justin Gaethje hit him with some good shots. I think that's what caused him to kind of break slowly. Like, it didn't seem like he was eating those shots as well as he could have. I mean, to be fair, Gaethje doesn't exactly have pillow hands either, so I understand. But I definitely think that, yeah, had Fiziev been more prepared, he would have won that fight. Like, let me know what you guys think. I also just realized my light had fallen down this whole time, so I just put it back up. It is what it is. We're just gonna ignore that. Anyways, let's move on to the last fight on this card, guys. The last fight, you guys know which one. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. My thoughts on this fight. So, okay, here are my thoughts. Round 1, I would say probably went to Pereira. Like, it definitely didn't, like, this round definitely didn't go how Pereira's fights normally go. I could immediately tell that there was more of a skill balance in the octagon. Pereira definitely like wasn't pressuring and hunting as the way he was in his previous fights. In fact, it was almost like the pressure was reversed on him, but and at the same time, everything he was throwing was super cautious. He was keeping his distance. But yeah, basically like the only thing he did in that first round was kick at Ankalaev's legs a little bit. And everyone was like, oh, okay, good start. Like he's kicking his legs. Let's see where he'll go from here. And round 2, Magomed just kind of started pushing forward, which it felt to me that kind of like distracted Pereira. I don't think he's like been in front of an opponent who was marching him forward with that kind of intensity. Like not like Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland just like like walks forward with these big doe eyes, and he doesn't seem like much of a threat. But I definitely think Pereira was looking out for the danger of Ankalaev because he is the most dangerous opponent he's had. But yeah, basically the entire time Pereira did shoot some good things. He had some good moments, but Ankalaev kind of was like just defending them, protecting himself from the leg kicks. Like they weren't really doing any damage to Ankalaev. And that's I think the first time we've seen that is like Pereira's attacks weren't doing damage, but not because they weren't powerful, but mostly because Ankalaev was defending against them, whereas the other opponents weren't. And also at the same time, Ankalaev said he wouldn't shoot for fucking takedowns, and I don't think he actually took Pereira down at any point. I don't remember if he did, but I don't think so. But my stream also like cut off so many times during this fight. But the extent of the grappling was just Ankalaev pushing Pereira against the fence, and basically just holding him there, hugging him there, keeping him there, not really doing any damage, but holding on for dear life, which was like my first problem. Like, anyways, I'll get into it, but I would have loved to see more exchanges on the feet. Like, if you're gonna grapple, you should grapple. Like, you shouldn't like take your opponent down to the ground, but don't like just keep holding them against the fence. Like it's just not a champion's move, you know what I mean? Like I understand that that's a way you can win, but it's just not a very pretty one, and it's not a very respectable one. It's just like, okay, yeah, you could do that. It reminds me of those millionaires, I guess, or there's people who have like an excess amount of money who brag about how they made it, and you start to realize that they just kind of like just kind of slimily slid their way through business to end up where they were, which is like fine. I guess that's like one way to get there, like sure, like I'm not disrespecting it. It's that's a hustle too, but it's just not inspiring. You know what I mean? And I think that's the thing for me personally is in this sport, the reason why I got into it was because I liked feeling inspired. You know what I mean? Like seeing someone fully dedicate themselves, to their abilities, and refining everything within them to get them to that point where they can prove that they are the champion. You know what I mean? And we've seen this in Valentina Shevchenko, and I'm bringing up female examples right now because they're the first ones that are coming to mind. But Valentina Shevchenko, Zhang Weili, like both of these fight, like you could see it. They're demonstrating how good they are, and there's no question about it. Whereas this fight, it felt like, okay, both dudes, I think, have the skill, and I really think it could have been an even better fight. it was a close one, but I think like it just, to me it felt like a lot of the reason why Magomed won was just because he pressured more effectively. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't necessarily that, oh, he was the better kickboxer or he was the better grappler. Like he wasn't the better grappler or the better kickboxer. He just fucking pushed forward, which I guess is a way to win. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying that it's not like inspiring to me. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't want to shout it's Ankalaev time, bro. Like I don't feel inspired by this. You're not my hero. You're not my hero, you know? You're not like this impressive artist. Like I'm sure, yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it's just it's a different kind of situation. So that's that. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Ankalaev basically just pressured his way to a victory, like not really allowing Pereira to build any momentum or do much of anything. Like sat on the fence for an extended amount of time. I don't know, guys. Do you guys let me know? Do you feel inspired by this? Are you like excited for Magomed? Like, let me know. Am I completely tripping for thinking that like this just doesn't feel like it just feels off a little bit? I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the win, guys. Yeah, like he won. Sure. But but I gave you my opinion. So that's all. Anyhow. Yeah, what was my favorite fight tonight? I don't know. I just like I love demonstrations of skill. Dude, the Bobby Green fight. You know what I mean? Mauricio Ruffy, like that was so good. Ignacio Bahamondes too, though. That was more like Jalen Turner fucked up. Like just like pure skill. Mauricio Ruffy KOing Bobby Green. Epic. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. I've been reunited with the Shama Bowl. So let's ding it one good time to wrap up this whole night and moment in history. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for everyone that joined my live stream. Much appreciate seeing you. There were more of you today, so that's always lovely to see. I'm sure it's because it was a bigger event also, but nonetheless, I appreciate all of you who continue to support my channel and who encourage me to keep doing this. So yeah, anyways, thanks again. And thank you for listening to my recap. Why am I saying thank you a million times? I don't know. Anyhow, that's it. See you next time. I'm not sure if I will post a video for the predictions of next week's card. I might just do a tier list instead. Let me know, guys. It's just I don't feel so inspired by that card. I mean, but I feel like weird not doing the predictions, but because of my channel is basically just doing that. But at the same time, like it's really tough for my ADHD to like do research for cards that I don't feel that inspired by. Like the research for 313 came like was super quick because I was like, hey, this is the card of the year. But anyways, let me know, guys, if you've made it this far into the video. Anyways, okay, this time goodbye. See you.